We're moving into web fonts now, and we're going to look at two different kinds of fonts that we can use. One is going to be a font you can download from the web and make use of, and then the other, we're going to use Google Fonts to reference fonts on a server in a remote location. So one is basically a local resource, and then the other is a dependency on a remote resource. To download a font, we're going to go to Google Fonts because you can download fonts from their website. So I'm just going to type in Google Fonts, and here you have fonts.google.com. So clicking into there, and we're just going to look at the Roberto font here. And if you actually want to try any of this, so I'm going to click on Roberto, we'll go to its page because you can see better what this font looks like, the different characters it will support. You can read more about it. So here are the styles, which means italic, bold. You can have a mixture of the two. There's different weights. So you have this medium, this regular, and you can see all the different things you have available to you with that font. And just continue scrolling down, you'll see a lot more about the font. So going back to where we were earlier, and if you want to see what this looks like, so you can click on sentence, which they have selected here with regular and a 40px. So this is what it looks like here. You can just put whatever you want. So this is a test, and you can try different characters and see what those look like. This is going to, of course, change the size of that font. You can go through the styles, which are here, and go to medium, and let's see, we can go to light or thin. Actually, let's just go to thin, and you can see what that looks like. So if you want to use the font, go ahead and click on the plus, and then click down here, font family, and then you've got Roberto. So you can download that right there. So that's going to download a zip file. This is what we're going to look at first, and then we're going to come back and look at how you reference these from the Google Fonts website. Okay, so here is our page that we're dealing with. I'm going to go ahead and do some changes right here on contact, and we're going to apply this particular font. So I've downloaded Roberto, unzipped it, and it unzips into a folder. So these are TTF files, TrueType font. And the good thing with this format is compatible in most all the browsers, so you shouldn't really have any problems making use of it. Now they've broken this out into the different components of this particular kind of font. So we're going to reference it in our styles tag, which we have here, and I'm going to create a new entry for that. And what we're going to call this is just going to be our local font. That's how we'll reference it throughout the web page. So we start this off with font face. And then we're going to go ahead and open up a brace on that. We're going to add font family. And this is going to be the custom name that you want to give this. So you can see some of the built-in font family names that are listed here. And we're just going to call ours for now local font. Of course, you would probably use something a little more descriptive so you would know what exactly it is. All right, then we're going to also reference a source. This is going to be the location of the font. So this is a value of URL. It's going to go in parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and close that off with the semicolon. And your file reference is not going to go in any quotes or anything. So we have Roberto here. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and roll that up. You can see Roberto, the folder, is at the same level as the index. So the way we're going to reference is a /, which means we're in the same folder as our file index. And then we're going to go to the Roberto folder. And you'll notice I'm not using capital letters here, so there's not any case sensitivity. I'm going to open this up. We're going to look for the italic version, which is this Roberto italic. So we can just go ahead and type that file name, Roberto italic, like that, TTF, and save. Okay, so that gives us our reference to the file. Now we're going to make use of this, and so we have our contact here that we're going to apply it to. So down here, we're going to go with the style tag, and then in here, we're going to make use of font family once again. And that is going to be local font. So we can go ahead and save this. Now we should see some changes on contact. It should go italic, and then the font face will be a little bit different as well. So let's go ahead and change that. And you can see, in fact, it is. Whereas here the default is more of a serif. This is a sans serif, so none of the serifs on it. And then if we go back over here, we can go ahead and do a little bit more, exploit some additional features of this font. So some things we have available to us, or like the bold, for example, and that is going to be under font weight. And in this case, we'll just type in bold, go back up here to contact, we'll refresh that, and you can see now we have a bold. So that is local file references. Now there's one other thing here to be aware of, and some browsers will restrict your local access to a file. So in Safari specifically, under the developer menu, I've disabled local file restrictions, because if I go ahead and, let's see, I think I've changed it back. Yeah, so now it is enabled. If I go ahead and refresh, and then we're going to inspect element, we're probably not going to see anything here because it's caching, but what you'll end up seeing if you've not disabled the restrictions for local files is that you'll get an error that it can't access the local resource, and that's a Safari restriction. So just disabling that again up here in the developer menu and disable local file restrictions will make that error go away. Okay, so now we're going to look at Google Fonts and the web reference, which they have down here for us, which makes things quite easy. So I'm going to copy this link right here. We'll go back, and then this is going to go in the head section. It's not going to go inside of the style tags. It's going to be its own reference. And then they tell us also how to make use of it. Okay, so let's see. We're going to go to About. And we know About is not referencing any particular kind of font. But if we do a style, we add this here, Roberto. We're going to use the sans serif as an attribute that they've got. Now it already is. We probably don't need it. But let's go ahead and see now. We should get a similar looking font as Contact is written in here. So we'll refresh. And in fact, we do. There's no weight on this. Looks like it's just using probably the default weight. But that's how easy it is to make use of different kinds of fonts, whether it be a local file or referencing them from Google Fonts. And then over here, we've also seen how you can just type in whatever you want to get a better look at your font. Now, something else that's nice about this, if we go ahead and do search, you can look for different kinds of fonts. So you may want handwriting fonts. You may want only the serif fonts. So we can just remove this, and that is all serifs. So you can see they've got the little serifs on them. And you can see what's popular, which would be like a trending font. There's other attributes. Here's popular right here. You can sort by alphabetical. You can look for different widths and thicknesses. So there's a lot you can do here to narrow down your search of what you want. And remember, you can come up here and just type in your own text and make sure that that text looks like what you're after. So maybe you have a tagline and you want a particular font for your tagline. You could type your tagline in here and then get a match on that font.